Hey, good morning. You are back with the crew, and I'm so glad to be back with you guys. I have missed you guys, and every time I get to turn the camera on, it's like, yes, I get to do this again. This is fun. Today's show is, as you've seen in the title, it's about crypto and the dollar, okay? And what's going on and why it's such a big and important subject is if you understand what's happening, occurring around the world with the US dollar, okay, you're gonna wanna stick around for this show because that's what I wanna get into in the way that I like to present things. Okay, now I have kind of an announcement, but I have kind of a way of saying thank you to you guys who spent the weekend with us. And us, meaning Elizabeth, Brent, and myself. I think we did over 3 hours of content that many of you really appreciated. And those of you who haven't seen the stuff, you can go back. Elizabeth crushed it. Brent crushed it. Brent and I's show, just so you guys know, is going to get a whole lot more spicy. It's not hey, Dad, you're a great guy. Hey, Brent, you're pretty cool too. No, that's not what our show's going to be about. Although that's the passion and love that he and I have for each other. That's not what our show is going to be about. Our show is going to be about health, wealth, and happiness. And that means in a spiritual sense as well, okay? A little hint in a vibrational way as well. It's also going to be about banking and economics. Okay, and in a manner of the last 20 years of me teaching my son what fundamentals are, what Austrian economics is, and what a real whole dollar looks like, or a backed dollar would be, that's kind of what we're going to do. And it's going to be a variety show that he and I have. The show that Elizabeth is doing with myself, you guys have probably already figured this out. And if you know XRP people that are kind of interested in the law and the legal case, you may want to turn them on to that show as well. Because I'm letting Elizabeth just run with it in the awesome, incredible way that she has about taking facts and bringing them to you. She's reading hundreds of pages and she's just giving you as factual as she can as to what those things are. Having said everything I just said, we need a different platform for some of these spicy shows that we plan on doing in the future. So we believe we are going to go to Patreon. I think we can do it cheap enough so we can carry everybody along with us, yet I can speak more freely about the things that have occurred in my life and the things I'd like to share and the people that I've met and the influences in which they have over the economy and the future of our lives together. Now, let's get back to the show. That's not an advertisement. That's something I really want you guys to know about. Okay, going forward. Dollars and tokens, or dollars and coins, we'll call this, all right? If you understand what a dollar is going through right now in its lifespan, okay? This has happened, I believe it's over 600 times in the history of mankind. This fiat never works out in a paper form. I know you guys know this, but I'm going to go over the basics of this really quick. Essentially, the only reason why banks came to be is because the farmer and the furniture maker had a deal before banks. And he said, I'll trade you 50 chickens for that chair. And the furniture maker said, no problem. And he gave him the chair when it was finished. And the chicken farmer said, no, we agreed on 40 chickens. No, that's not what we agreed on. We agreed on this. So we needed an intermediary, if you will, between the two parties to settle our agreements with a fair and unbiased party in between the two. Okay. As you know, that's been corrupted so many times over, it's ridiculous, and it's at a level that's just absurdity. Now, what they've done is they've created this fiat mess for themselves since 1971, as we all know. And this mess is coming to an end, as all fiats do. And I know all the gold bugs out there. Trust me, I believe in precious metals. I've owned them most of my life. I started buying them in the 80s, people. I own precious metals. Do I think you should own some? That's up to you. Do I think you should at least buy some silver to have laying around the house? Every country that's ever gone through a problem with their fiat currency, the people who own silver and gold and the people weren't able to own cryptocurrencies back then because they're fairly new. They are important. I believe it. I'm pretty sure Venezuela was you could feed your family 6 months or something like that on 1 ounce of silver at one point. You have to understand that retains its value. It might be important to you and your family to actually be able to eat for 6 months. And silver coins are cheap, people. I mean, 30, 35 bucks, you know, with the spread and the commissions and the rest of it. And sorry, my dogs are all in here now. With the, they're going to kick this camera over, aren't they? Anyway, the spread on top of the value of the market value, which we all know is manipulated. We know it's not accurate. Okay. That is going to be something you're going to want to have a few laying around. Not a financial advice, just my opinion. Okay. When you understand what's happening to the US dollar, by the way, I'm making a prediction right here, not live, but with you right now. The dollar died. Yeah, I know. We probably won't have a funeral or anything, but it did die. And now I'm going to get into that. How do you know that, Alan? Who does this guy on YouTube think he is? The connections I have, the people I know, don't believe that. I believe that. Okay, I'm not hearing that necessarily from bankers in particular, or brokerage people that I have had the privilege of speaking with. I came to this conclusion on my own in the sense that you usually don't know until 6 months or a year after something dies that it died. So I really believe in 6 months from now, we're going to look back at spring of 2023. We're going to look at that 10 years from now, 5 years from now, and go, wow, that was it. That was the time. And Mr. J. Powell went possibly just a little bit too far. I don't think he necessarily has. I mean, unless you've lost your job, you probably feel like he went way too far. But they're going to turn the screws. They're pushing the pressure. They're creating deflation everywhere all around us. You can see it. Copper's way down. Gold's down. I mean, gold's holding its own really well. And so is Bitcoin. And XRP has been crushed lately, but most things are going down in value. Cars, real estate, all of this is an avalanche that they're hoping to have happen. This is an issue. Whenever you need to move currencies, okay, the dollar, like that, you are in a mode of the end game of all Austrian economics know this. You're in crack up, boom. This is my analysis, nobody else's. The way that I know this to be true is not just that. The other problem that I see is the liquidity that I always talk about. Everyone's like, liquidity, liquidity. I'm tired of hearing about it. It's so important. The markets don't have it. It's shrinking. People want to buy things still. They can't afford the interest of it. So the bank is saying these people can't make the payment. If they can't make the payment on whatever it is these people want to buy, I'm not going to loan them money. This is shrinking the liquidity in the market. And if you understand that basic principle, once you start to shrink, once it starts evaporating, it's hard to get the mindset of the banker to say, oh, we're fine, it's okay, let's turn it around. Jay Powell has told us since day one, he's told us, he's been very honest in so many ways that, is he honest? No. Well, look at his position. He can't be, right? Let's just go there. But he's told us, listen, I can stop, okay, deflation. That's easy. We know how to do that. We just print more and it will turn everything around. Values of, in particular, your assets. That's why I talk about crypto and precious metals so much, because it's an asset that when they turn the tap on, and trust me, they cannot live in a deflationary world. Government won't exist. Banks won't exist. In a deflationary system, I should say a central banking system cannot exist in a deflationary world. They've known that. That's what they did in 1909 through 1913. They made the roller coaster go up and down to make sure that people felt the volatility. They felt the pain, the pressure. They wanted to wean us off. The previous 50 years, the 1850s, were incredible decades of deflation. That deflation is no good for the people at the top. Why? Because you and I could just save our money, and we hold our money under the bank or under a mattress, and it goes up in value because it buys more and more each day that we hold onto it. That stops liquidity, okay? The liquidity of the movement, of the commerce, of the people trading digits, okay? They know how to do that. It scares them to death, okay? It eliminates their existence or their need for all of them to be, their jobs are at stake. They can control that at the bottom. They don't know how always, or they don't always get the signal straight. This time is different. This time is really important for you to catch this next part of this video. It's different because the dollar died. Everybody in the globe now is starting to scratch their head and go, wait a minute, this is different. Why is this different, Alan? It's different because more and more people are buying precious metals. More and more people have bought homes at 1 or 2 and 3% interest rates, and they're not moving. They're going to stay. They're not transferring or wanting to buy a new home because of the interest rate. They're going to stay where they are. But the biggest thing, in my opinion, above anything else, is the fact that we have cryptocurrency. I know it's only $1.2 trillion of the market. I know it's nothing. It's tiny in the world scheme. But the difference is where you look at what that $1 trillion strategically placed as a place of security and a place of holding on for the storm that cometh. You understand that we and you and I get that, okay? And more people are understanding that. I don't know if you guys saw this, but over 1 million wallets own a whole Bitcoin. If you understand, in my opinion, there's only 15 million Bitcoin. I think first of all, we've only mined 17, 18 million of them, but I think there's been at least 2 or 3 million of them lost. Now, what's more important than that, in my opinion, than Bitcoin, is I'm just going to, so I can throw an umbrella over the whole thing, your ISO 222s. That whole network is more important. Why? Because all of these banks are feeling the pressure of not wanting to sell. They know that they're contracting. Liquidity is contracting. They're telling themselves and all the people in their bank and their meetings, hey, let's lay these people off. We can't compete with crypto. It doesn't make sense. We can't compete with XRP. There's no way. We're contracting. This is our perfect opportunity to pick the banks we don't like. If you look at the banks that failed, they all came out of one Federal Reserve Branch. Thank you, Tom Luongo. I got that from him. It was a light bulb for me. It sent me down a road. I got to figure out why. Well, the 2 or 3 videos that I've done before, I was right on the path of what? I've been telling you guys for a while now that this thing is planned demolition. They've been picking who loses and who wins. Well, this tells me, trust me guys, I know many of you probably don't know this who follow Tom, but this was my idea, my concept 4 or 5 years ago. I've been talking to my son about this whole concept. This is Team A against Team B at the top. Is Team A better than Team B? No. They are both manipulative. They are not Boy Scouts. They are not church members. They are not your best friend. They are not always in the betterment of all mankind. However, one of them wants to hang on to the dollar and the other one wants the global currency to be the euro, okay? Because they are European based for centuries. That's why the euro was even created. We didn't need a euro. Look what happened to so many countries like Greece when they adopted this strategy, which came directly out of the UN, by the way, but that's a whole nother story. That'll be a spicy conversation that I'll have on my Patreon channel. But when you get where this whole thing is going, you start to understand the dollar died. Does that mean we're not going to exchange it for the next 5 years? No, that's not what that means. That means that you're going to know that from this day forward, there'll be less and less need, which is already happening. There'll be less and less liquidity until the day they go what? Boom. And they will shoot this thing an ejection of QE that we've never seen the likes of before. That day is coming. It's coming anywhere between 2 weeks to 2 years. I don't know. I don't have that crystal ball, but I'm telling you it's coming. And when it does, you're going to want to own crypto. You're going to want to own land. You're going to want to own classic cars. You're going to want to own assets. And if you own the right assets, which I believe, you know my coins, if you own XRP and if you own a few of the other coins, you're going to be the place to where the smart money wants to go to. And the smart money is already going there now. I've talked about this before. If you look at over-the-counter exchanges, I'm not talking about Coinbase. I'm talking about over-the-counter. They're selling out. That liquidity is drying up for these coins. They're being pulled off exchanges. They're being pulled out of people's wallets who have toilet paper hands, and they're going into bigger and larger groups of organizations, of banks and people who see the writing on the wall. That is occurring right now. That's not a guess. I know that to be happening. Okay, so let's summarize what all of that means. The biggest reason why the dollar is dying because BRICS nations understand it's smoke and mirrors. It has so many leaks in the dam, and these giant leaks are gold, silver, crypto. These are massive leaks, and it's trying its best to hold on to its feasibility for the future, but its future is done. I'm not predicting it's crashing tomorrow. I'm just saying we're going to use dollars and we're going to trade in them for quite some time. Its diminishing value is going to accelerate faster and faster and faster. And that is the key to what you need to help your family and friends with looking forward. Because this is opportunity. This is not tragedy. This is not negative world we're living in. This is a incident that's happened 600 times in our history. And it always goes the same. You go from fiat to gold, then gold doesn't work. I'm not kidding you about this. Think about that. Gold has failed at least 600 times to fiat because we're currently on fiat, right? That's math. We can go there, right? So gold can't hold this whole global liquidity market up. It can't, okay? It just won't. And I know people say, oh, well, we'll just tokenize it and we'll just make it to coin for this and that. Maybe. I'm not ruling that out 100%, but I don't believe that to be true. There's too much water under the crypto bridge, and there's too many people, big players, that want to see crypto succeed. It is succeeding. So the difference between the other 600 times that fiat failed and gold succeeded is it didn't have Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP. You can go down the list. Algorand, Quant, XDC, XLM. You know the coins I'm talking about. It never had that competition for its attention. And what you have to know about smart money is way ahead of the herd. Where's the herd right now? Is the herd talking to you about crypto? No. So what is the smart money doing? What the herd's not doing right now. They're possessing, they're owning, they're solidifying their portfolio the way they want to line it up, piece by piece by piece. I really hope you guys got something from that. I didn't explain 15 things I wanted to in that video, but I really hope you guys got something from that because the dollar died. Yes, I'm making a prediction again. At the end of the year, we'll figure out that I got that one completely wrong. But hopefully you guys learned a little something and you understand why it's so important now for you to have the leaks in the dam. You want to own the leaks in the dollar dam, okay? And when Miss Janet and all these people and Pocahontas or whatever you guys want to call her come out after your coin, okay? You're winning. You're winning. That tells me everything I need to know about where my future is going with you and us. And we're going to have fun doing it. So stick around. I'll see you guys soon. And I am